This is the second video in our series which will show you how to download items from our West Virginia Deli service. This video will address downloading ebooks, and it's going to cover what you'll need to do if you have a Nook, a Sony Reader, basically any Android-based device that isn't a Kindle or an iPad. If you have a Kindle or an iPad, we're going to have separate videos for those. Those are actually a different process, but for everything else, this is what you'll need to do. Just start off on the library's homepage, which is canallibrary.org, as you see up there at the top. And you'll want to look for the West Virginia Deli logo on the left. It's right here. Just point right at the logo and click on it. And when the page loads up, you'll see over to your right, we've got our software that you'll need, which is Adobe Digital Editions. So just point right at that phrase and then click. And here you'll have a list of everything that we offer as far as software. The Adobe program is going to work for your ebooks, so you want to download that. Just click on the link right at the top here. It's going to open up a new window or a new tab depending on the kind of browser that you have. With Internet Explorer, it's opening up a new tab, and now I've got an option to download the software now. So I just click Download Now. I will have to pick the kind of computer or operating system that I have. Most people still do have Windows, so your option for Windows is right here. But if you have an Apple computer, you can certainly download the Macintosh version, which is your first link. We'll go ahead and click on Windows here to download the Windows version. And depending on what kind of browser you have, you might see an option to save, run this. It really doesn't matter. If you have to save it first, you'll run the file once it's downloaded. If you can run it directly from the browser, that's going to save you a step. So in this instance with Internet Explorer, I'm going to go ahead and click on Run. And it's doing its thing here for a few minutes. Once this runs, you'll see a pop-up on the screen. It's going to be a smaller window that appears, and we'll have to go through a series of steps to actually install the software. And that is coming up right now. So this is the license agreement that you have to basically accept in order to use the Adobe software. You'll have to click on I accept the terms here and then click the next button. It basically checks off everything that you'll need to do to get started with ebooks. So unless you have a very good reason for unchecking one of these, I would probably just leave them selected and then click on next. And here again, it's going to pick a folder for you to install the program. So unless you wanted it somewhere else for some reason, you can just leave it in the default folder, then click on install, and that's going to be your last step. Okay, and the program's set. We'll go ahead and click on close here. This is something you might see if you've used our Adobe software before. If you have an existing version of it, an older version, it's going to ask if you want to migrate your data over. Basically, it's going to say, do you want to take your settings in your books that you already have and stick them in the new version? Most people will want to do this, so to do so, just click on Migrate Data. And it's asking me if I want to uninstall the previous version. Since I don't necessarily need two copies of the same program, I just want to keep the newer one, and I am going to uninstall that old version. Okay, should be done, and you'll see it says Launch Adobe Digital Editions 2.0 after closing this dialog. So when we click Done, you'll actually get the program. It's going to pop up on your screen. Because I had the old program on there, it's not going to ask me to authorize this new version. If I did not have an authorized version, it would prompt me to enter an Adobe ID, and I can show you how that looks. I'm just going to click on a few buttons here and try to deauthorize this. Okay. What you'll get if you don't have Adobe on your computer already when you download it for the first time is this: authorize your computer. You basically have to have an Adobe ID, which is going to be essentially an email address, and then a password. If you don't already have that, you can click on Create an Adobe ID here and follow the steps. If you do already have one, you can enter it. And hopefully I remember what mine is. and then click Authorize. And if you don't remember what yours is, as I apparently don't, you can try again with a different password. There we go. And it's been authorized, it's set to go. So we've got our software, now we just need to grab our books. I'm going to actually start a second video to show you that process, so just move on to video number 2.